نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم اما بعد فاعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آواز کم ہے یا آواز صحیح ہے؟ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الف لام را تلک آیات الکتاب المبین انا انزلناه قرآنا عربیا لعلکم تعقلون. نحن نقص عليك احسن القصص بما اوحینا الیک هذا القرآن وَإِن كُنْتَ مِن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. صدق اللہ العظیم. سامعین کرام السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. قرآن کریم میں سورہ یوسف کی ابتدائی آیات کی تلاوت آپ کے سامنے کی، جس میں اللہ رب العزت نے پہلی دو آیات میں قرآن کریم کی حقانیت کو واضح فرمایا اور یہ بیان فرمایا کہ قرآن کریم ایک کھلی ہدایت ہے اور اس میں ہم نے قرآن کریم کو عربی زبان میں نازل کیا لعلکم تعقلون، تاکہ آپ سب لوگ اپنی عقلوں کے مطابق اپنی عقلوں کو درست کر سکیں. نحن نقص علیک احسن القصص، اور بلا شبہ ہم بیان کرتے ہیں بہترین قصے بما اوحینا الیک ھذا القرآن، اسی قرآن کریم کے اندر وَإِن كُنْتَ مِن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ، اور یہ وہ قصے ہیں جو اس سے پہلے والی لوگوں کو علم نہیں تھا. تو سامعین کرام، سورہ یوسف یہ سورت بنیادی طور پر مکی سورت ہے، اور مکی سورت کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ یہ سورت حضور اکرم صلی اللہ تعالی علیہ وسلم کے قلب اطہر پر نازل ہوئی، لیکن یہ ہجرت سے پہلے نازل ہوئی. تو مختلف روایات اس حوالے سے ہیں. اچھا آواز کم ہے تو بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. اللہم صلی علی سیدنا مولانا محمد وبارک وسلم صلو علیہ. اللہم صلی علی سیدنا مولانا محمد وبارک وسلم صلو علیہ. تو ہم یہ بیان کر رہے تھے کہ اللہ رب العزت نے مختلف جگہوں کے اوپر مختلف انبیاء کا ذکر کیا، اور یہاں اس سے مراد یہ ہے کہ جب حضور پرنور حضرت محمد مصطفیٰ صلی اللہ تعالی علیہ وسلم پر مکہ کے زمانے میں ایک بہت بڑی آزمائش آئی، اور وہ یہ تھی کہ آپ کی اہلیہ حضرت خدیجۃ الکبریٰ رضی اللہ تعالی عنہا اور آپ کے چچا حضرت ابو طالب، ان کا وصال ہو گیا، اور اس سال کو کہتے ہیں عام الحزن. تو اس عام الحزن یعنی غم کے سال کے بعد یہ سورت نازل ہوئی. تو ہجرت سے پہلے یہ سورت نازل ہوئی، اور عام الحزن کے بعد یہ سورت نازل ہوئی. اور یہ سورت ایسی سورت ہے جسے اللہ رب العزت نے بڑا ہونے کے باوجود بھی اسے ایک ہی بار نازل فرمایا. اور ایک ہی بار نازل فرمانے سے مراد یہ ہے کہ کئی صورتوں میں اللہ رب العزت کا معاملہ یہ ہے کہ आप छोटे छोटे टुकड़ों में नाज़िल फरमाते हैं। ये सूरत कमो बेश कोई आधे सिपारे से ज़्यादा है और 100 से ज़ायद आयात हैं, लेकिन ये सूरत को एक ही बार अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त ने हुज़ूर पुरनूर हज़रत मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा सल्लल्लाहु ताला अलैहि वसल्लम के क़ल्ब पर नाज़िल फरमाया। So that makes this surah a unique surah in the history of entire Holy Quran. That such a big surah was revealed upon the heart of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam, but instantaneously as well as in one go. So that makes this surah, the Makki surah, to be a unique surah in the entire history of the revelation of the Holy Quran. Then Allah Almighty says that it is us, which is to say, he is referring to himself, that it is I who reveal the best of the stories in the Holy Quran. So he is actually telling us that the stories that you find in Holy Quran are not ordinary stories. These stories are full of lessons. These lessons are pertaining to this worldly life as well as hereafter, as well as there are more words of wisdom. So any story that is narrated by Allah Almighty, any story that you find and come across in Holy Quran, this story should not be underestimated regarding its truthness or regarding its significance or regarding its value. So they are high value, they are of high value surahs or the qissa or the stories, and they should be treated quite significantly because they are full of wisdom, words of wisdom. And then Allah Almighty further says that the story that we are going to begin is the best of all stories. So Allah Almighty reveals the stories. These are not ordinary, these are of high significance. These are full of wisdom, information, realities of life, realities of hereafter, the patience, how people express their best of character. But the best of all stories according to Allah Almighty and according to this verse of Holy Quran, the best of the best story is the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So the best of the best story is the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So that is called the preface of Surah Yusuf. Allah Almighty first praises Holy Quran and his verses, that this is high, they are coming from the high and divine authority, and we have revealed this Quran in Arabic, in the Fusha Arabic, and this is understandable for all those who follow Arabic. And then he says that we narrate a lot of the stories. Our narrated stories should not be taken as ordinary stories or fables or fictitious stories. These are true stories. And these true stories carry a significant messages. You can take lessons of life and hereafter. And the best of the best story in Holy Quran is the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Then Allah Almighty says that why is it the best of the story? And why is it the story full of significance? And let us relate it with the life of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was severely opposed by the people, by the pagans of Makkah, so they always raised a lot of objections on Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As you know that sometimes he was accused as to be, a person who is a kahin, a person who is a sahir, a person who is a poet. So after these accusations, all these accusations were met with strong arguments by Allah Almighty. And finally, these pagans, they have approached the people of book, Ahlul Kitab. And these people of the book, which is called the Ahlul Kitab, they were either Christians or the Jews, and they follow the revealed text. And today, if we want to see their revealed text, that is preserved in Bible. And Bible is divided into two parts. One is called the Old Testament, the other one is called the New Testament. So traditionally speaking, the Old Testament is followed and pursued by the Jews, and the New Testament is followed and pursued by the Christians. So these Ahl Kitab were approached by the pagans of the Makkah, and they were trying to find out something. They were trying to raise some more strong objections on Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So as soon as they were approached, quite calculatively Jews came up with some specific questions, right? And these questions were very, very calculative. By looking at the background of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his entire life, where did he learn, whom did he meet, and considering his entire life, they very calculatively crafted some questions that testifies, that would validate the status of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Is he na'uzubillah a false prophet or a true prophet? So the judgment was based on the question that can Prophet tell us about the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam? Because Jews knew this thing, that Prophet did not learn from any human being whatsoever and whosoever. He never accompanied Jews or the Christians. He never traveled all along. So they knew it very correctly that if he were a true prophet, so the truthness of the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam would be told by Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And if he were a false prophet, he might not be able to tell us the entire story. So upon a very calculative assessment by Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's life, Jews came up with a very strong objection that yes, you claim that you are a true prophet. Can you tell us something about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam? And can you tell us that why did he travel from Syria to Egypt? And what happened to them? How did he become the wazir of the Egyptian kingdom? Now, if you are able to do it, then we would testify that you are a true prophet. And then, on this question, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam was revealed by Allah Almighty this entire surah, the Surah Yusuf, which tells us the stories of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam's story testifies the truthness of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. It validates that Prophet was not a false. If he were false and if he were fake, he would not have been able to tell us stories of the past in a very true account, or in a very, I would say, factually true account. So if we read the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, on the one hand, lessons that would help us in this life and hereafter. Lessons that can help us to think about the trials and the tribulations that we undergo every day. And how are we supposed to be patient in these situations and the circumstances. So that's the background and the context of the Surah Yusuf, in which we can really understand the depth of the message of Surah Yusuf. Now the next verse, which is the verse number 4, Allah Almighty says, إِذْ قَالَ يُوسُفُ لِأَبِيهِ. that when Prophet Yusuf tells his father, Ya abati, O father, inni raitu ahad ashara kawkaban, I see in a dream 11 stars, washamsa wal qamar, the sun and the moon, ra'aytuhum li sajidin, I see everything prostrating me. I see everything doing sajda to me. Then Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam answers his son Yusuf, and Prophet Yaqub says, Qala ya bunay, O my son, la taqsus ru'yak, do not tell this dream ala ikhwatika, to your brothers, fayakidu laka kaida, they would plot something bad against you. Inna shaytana lil insani aduwwum mubin. The expressed and the explicit enemy of a human being is Satan. Now let's get back to this story. Allah Almighty begins this story about the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, that Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam narrates his dream to his father. And what was that dream about? That dream was about that he sees in his dream that 11 stars, the sun and the moon, everything is doing sajda to him. Now, this story has a significant role to understand the dreams. So we all have the dreams. Sometimes these are false dreams and sometimes they are true dreams. And this dream, since he was a prophet, this was a true dream. Now, the difference between the fake and the true dream is that what is its source? If it is coming from one's ego, from his lower self, then it's of course fake dream. But if it is coming and if it is springing from, if it is emanating from the divine authority, the angelic reality, then it is a true dream. And the dreams of the prophets are considered or believed to be always the true dreams. Why? Because they are coming from the divine source. Their source is angelic. Their source is spiritual. That is not based on satanic imaginations and the creations. They are truly based on the angelic source. So that distinction is made in this surah also, that we need always to draw a classification between the true dreams and the false dream. So the true dreams always come from divine authority. Their source is divine. And this surah particularly speaks about the interpretations of the dream. Now, interpretation of the dream is a science that some of our scholars have gained expertise in. So some scholars have gone to the extent where they have studied scientifically what dreams are, what are their sources, and whatever we see in our dreams, can that be interpreted in the correct fashion, in a fashion that is not against our beliefs, and what can you understand from those dreams? So this becomes as an entire science of the dream interpretation. And the source of that dream interpretation science is this surah in particular, and most of them, they always carry interpretations and understandings from this verse when Prophet Yusuf narrates his dream to his father. Now, what is the interpretation of all this thing? So there are narrations how it was understood. From certain perspective, it was understood that Yaqub alayhi salam immediately understood that Yusuf alayhi salam is going to be given some higher status. Perhaps because Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam was himself a prophet. So he interpreted immediately that this indicates that soon Yusuf alayhi salam would be given the status of prophethood. And for this reason, he advised his son not to tell his brothers. Now, he had 11 brothers, right? One was the real brother, and the rest of the 10, they were the stepbrothers. And they had a kind of a relationship which was not a healthy relationship. So his brothers were jealous of him for so many things, and most importantly because Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam was among the youngest one, and naturally his mother died, and because of that he became the, I would say, the apple of the eye of his father. And since he became the apple of eye of his father, he used to love him, he used to spend a lot of time on him, he used to take care of him. And that invited a jealousy in the hearts of his stepbrothers. And Allah Almighty here does not shy to explain this fact that jealousy is a part of human nature. Jealousy is natural to human beings. So the issue is not, you cannot overcome our jealousy, but you need to deal with the fact of jealousy in wise ways, in a very, I would say, in a very wittingly fashion, right? So Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam tells Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam that you should not tell this narration, you should not tell your dream to your brothers. Why? Because they would instantaneously make sense that you are either going to be getting some exalted position in your future, and they might plot something bad against you. So let's protect you from the bad intentions of your jealous brothers. And here we have a lesson. What is the lesson? The lesson is that if we treat our children in a very differential fashion, that some children are given more importance, they are given more love, they are given more in inheritance, or I would say in the distribution of money and the privileges. So jealousy would naturally erupt in the hearts of other brothers. So the good parenting comes from where? From a balanced treatment with your kids. And quite unfortunately, I would say, this is really a common practice in us. And today, psychologists talk more about how to treat your kids equally or fairly. And they always indicated this fact that if you treat your younger children with utmost care, in a very, I would say, pampered fashion, that would create a sense of differential treatment and a sort of a discrimination in the hearts of your brothers. So these psychologists, they emphasize on this fact that if there is a differential treatment among the children or your siblings, you would tend to become more jealous, more negative towards your brothers and sisters and the siblings. In the same fashion, for example, in classroom, if some students are preferred more in a business firm, if some employees are preferred more, they are treated differentially. So the natural conclusion is that there would be a kind of animosity among them. There would be a kind of bad treatment, sort of the understanding, sort of a sense of the discrimination against others. So good, balanced sense appeals to us that we should really treat our children, our students, our employees indifferently. If we treat them differently, of course, we should get ready for all of these kinds of the things that we come across. So, now, the second thing that also comes is that what does that mean? What does it mean by the 11 stars, and what does it mean by the Shams and Qamar? According to other narration, Yaqub alayhi salam understood that by 11 star refers to 11 brothers. Ash-Shams, the father, and Al-Qamar, the mother. So, and they made sajda to Prophet Yusuf. Now the interpreters have stated this thing, that a human being cannot prostrate to another human being. So why does over here Allah Almighty has used the word sajideen, that they were doing sajda to them? So interpreters have interpreted this verse as that sajideen does not mean here literally doing the sajda. Rather, it is metaphorically understood, and by metaphorically saying understood, that they were taken in the custody or in the care of Yusuf alayhi salam. And that tells us that when he was exiled, or when he was, bought and sold in the public market as a slave, and when he went to Egypt, and where he became the vizier, and when he became when he had a big political position. So these 11 brothers, the mother and the father, they were taken in the care of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So this is the other interpretation, which is also quite sensible position and sensible interpretation about the dream of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So on this end, or on this note, I end today's conversation, and I hope I would continue with this same story, because it is full of lessons, full of blessings, full of wisdoms. So I hope that we would continue with the same surah in the upcoming Jummah sessions. I pray Allah Almighty that Allah Almighty accepts our explanation here, as well as your listening to that, and may Allah give us tawfiq to make the best of these lessons and help us to apply in our day-to-day practices. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And a very important announcement once again is that all of you are quite respectable and respected audience and members of our community. So last time I made an announcement that avoid parking in this part of the garden, because the sprinkles, they are damaged badly. So a lot of our brothers, after actually announcing that, they still park their cars in this
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم ربنا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر لله الحمد الحمد لله الواحد القهار الملك العزيز الجبار الرؤوف الرحيم الغفار الذي خلق بقوته الليل والنهار والذي خلق بقدرته الجبال والبحار الذي خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار ألا له الخلق وله الأمر ألا له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين صادق الوعد الأمين أما بعد أيها المؤمنون أوصيكم في الإيمان والإسلام والإحسان الإيمان أن تؤمنوا بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى والبعث بعد الموت والإحسان أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك هذا هو الإحسان أيها المؤمنون قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين وقال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام في مقام آخر لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من نفسي أو كما قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام بارك الله لنا لكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا إياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم فاستغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم الخلق وله الأمر ولا له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين صادق الوعد الأمين أما بعد أيها المؤمنون أمركم الله تعالى بإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة والإخلاص في الدين لقوله تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واركعوا مع الراكعين صدق الله العظيم. قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام 5 صلوات في كل يوم وليلة كتبهن الله على العباد يطهرون بها الأرواح وينظفون بها الأجساد ومن حافظ عليهن دائما فقد فاز وهدي إلى سبيل الرشاد ومن تركهن عامدا فقد خسر وحشر إلى جهنم وبئس المهاد أو كما قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا إياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم فاستغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول
الله. مالك يوم الدين مالك يوم الدين إياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. بسم اللہ. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصلوا عليه. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يرجع السلام. حينا ربنا بالسلام يا تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم تقبل منا صلاة الجمعة مع الجماعة كما تقبلت من الأنبياء والمرسلين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. یا میرے پروردگار نماز جمعہ با جماعت ادا کی اسے اپنی بارگاہ میں قبول فرما. اس کے توسط سے ہم سب کے ایمان اور عمل میں، رزق میں، معاملات میں، اٹھنے بیٹھنے میں برکتیں اور کشادیاں نصیب فرما. مریضوں کو شفائے کلی نصیب فرما. پریشان حال لوگوں کی پریشانیوں کو آسانی سے تبدیل فرما. یا میرے پروردگار جن احباب نے دعاؤں کے لیے کہا ان کی دعاؤں کو ان کے حق میں قبول و مقبول فرما. آپس میں اتحاد، اتفاق اور یگانگت سے رہنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما. ایک دوسرے کے حوالے سے بدگمانی سے ہمارے دلوں کو محفوظ فرما. ان اللہ وملائکتہ یصلون علی النبی یا ایہا الذین آمنوا صلوا علیہ وسلموا تسلیما. اللہم صل علی سیدنا ومولانا محمد وبارک وسلم صلوا علیہ. سبحان ربک رب العزت عما یصفون. السلام علی المرسلین والحمد للہ رب العالمین برحمتک یا ارحم الراحمین.